What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Today is album review day. When I first started this channel, I said I didn't really know the exact direction I'm gonna go in, so you guys just gotta bear with me, for a little bit. But uh, I knew that music and album reviews were going to be a big part of the channel because music is my second love, but it's my biggest love. Basketball is probably my first, but I was obsessed with music already at the same time. But today I'm going to review the album that had the biggest impact on my life, and it's Eminem Slim Shady LP. Easily, hands down. I needed that album when it came out. Sorry, y'all. I need to grab my drink. But easily had the biggest impact on my life. Not just that album, a few Eminem albums, but um, I'll get right into it. So, if you remember, that album started off with the public service announcement. This is a public service announcement brought to you by Slim Shady. Remember that? The views expressed in there are totally fucked. And then at the end, he's like, "Anything else you want to say?" And Eminem's like, "Yeah, don't do drugs." Remember that? But it goes right into My Name Is, and I got a weird story about Eminem, and it all starts with My Name Is, and it's probably the same. It's probably similar to everyone's story with Eminem. When My Name Is came out, I was like, who's this fucking guy? He's a joke, man. He's a clown. Like I thought My Name Is was funny, right? So I listened to My Name Is and whatever, and now I love the song. Like it might sound like I guess has maybe silly, if you want to call it silly. It might have aspects of being silly, which not might, it does. It's a silly song, but the lyrics are fucking ridiculous, man. Like he be saying some shit like the last verse when he's like the last verse of it where he's like, "Stop the tape, this kid needs to be locked away. Dr. Dre, don't just stand there, operate. I'm not ready to leave. It's too scary to die. I'd rather be carried inside the cemetery and buried alive." And a lot of that gets lost in that it's like a fun song, but Eminem was fucking killing it from that song. But I thought he was a fucking joke. I ain't gonna lie. I thought Eminem was a fucking joke. I thought he was just some, you know, I ain't gonna say you like Weird Al, but I just thought he was kind of a joke, right? And then Guilty Conscious was another fun song, and I was like, oh, this guy. And Guilty Conscious is the second song. He says some crazy shit in there, like, I mean, that was My Name Is had some controversial shit in there, but Guilty Conscious had um Guilty Conscious had the thing where he was talking about having sex with an underage girl, and he got a lot of flack for that, even though he was just recreating a scene from Animal House when they were having sex with a little girl. I'm not gonna repeat those lyrics, but um, the the best part of that song is because him and Dr. Dre are kind of battling. I don't know if he also wrote Dre's lines, but there's the part where towards the end of the song, and I've seen even Eminem talk about this shit where he's like, where Eminem and him are going because it's the one where the wife he comes in and the wife is cheating um, on her husband, and uh, Dr. Dre starts coming at him like, "Oh, don't fucking listen, you know, don't fucking listen to Eminem, because he's bad for you and all this shit." And then Eminem goes, "Mr. Dre, Mr. NWA, Mr. AK, coming straight out of Compton, y'all better make way." And Eminem said that Dr. Dre like fucking fell out of his seat fucking laughing after that. That was a really good moment in that song. And um, the first song that we heard Eminem and Dre on, which who would have known? Who would have fucking known? And I don't mean this as a diss to Eminem, but he has a nasally voice. Who would have known Eminem's nasally voice, or a white rapper with a nasally voice that talked a whole bunch of crazy shit, would work with Dr. Dre? Dr. Dre is way more of a he's a baritone. Like if you want to place his voice somewhere, he's a baritone. But for somehow it worked with them too. It just fucking worked, and we've gotten plenty of classic duos from them. Now, this next song, The next song on this album is where my opinion of Eminem totally changed. You know, listening to my public service announcement, I'm like, this fucking, it's funny. I had already seen My Name Is video before. He used to be my friend Brandon Patterson. Had let me. Oh, I'm just checking my levels to make sure. So he had let me borrow it, and you know, I'm just listening to public service announcements. I'm like, oh, this is a funny skit. My Name Is. Oh, this is a funny, silly song. And then Guilty Conscience, I'm like, another funny, really controversial song. Then fucking Brain Damage. I remember listening to Brain Damage. I was living in Germany at the time. I was still in the bunk beds with my brother, man. Like, me and my brother had bunk beds and shit, right? And I remember listening to Brain Damage, and I was like, this motherfucker is for real. Like, Brain Damage, even now when I listen to that shit, like, the one verse, way before my baby daughter Haley, I was harassed daily by this fat kid named D'Angelo Bailey, a tough kid who acted obnoxious because his father boxes, so every day he showed me in the lockers. And that resonated with me because I was like pseudo bullied. I was like picked on by a lot of people. Almost every school I went to, I was one of the fucking most picked on people. That's just what it was. Bullying physically, some, but I say I was like pseudo bullied because I used to fucking fight. Like, I just got in more fights than maybe I should have had to have gotten in because people fucking picked on me. But I had a lot of shit. You used to ever see this head? God damn, this head is long as shit. But and on top of that, my dad, like, it was the worst. My dad used to fucking cut my hair bald, right? So the song Brain Damage, pretty much being about people thinking that there's something wrong with you, and all the shit. He's talking about shit with his mom, the shit he was going through with his mom, which has been prevalent in Eminem's music throughout his whole career, and this was after D'Angelo Bailey and the principal whoops his ass, right? And then he comes home and he starts eating. And he's like, he just starts bleeding everywhere. And his mom is like, look, kid, what have you done? Oh, my God. Sorry, son. Shut up, you cunt. I said, fuck it. Went and stuck my brain back over my head. Then I sewed it shut and put a couple of screws in my neck. Like, nobody fucking can make some shit up like that. It's just fucking ridiculous. And Eminem, why I say it was the most important, because songs like this and lines like that and having, because I felt like when I was growing up, my parents didn't really have like, it was bad at home and at school, like, as far as my self-worth and the way people make me feel. So Eminem, when Brain Damage, I was like, oh shit, this guy fucking resonated with me so much. And people act like it's weird because he's white and I'm black. I don't fucking know. So next song was the first Paul Rosenberg skit, and this was also a reoccurring thing on Eminem album where Paul Rosenberg calls Eminem. He don't do it anymore, but he would call Eminem to say like, oh yeah, I just listened to the album and you saying some crazy shit and we need to talk, and that was always cool. Like how Eminem broke that fourth, I don't know if you call it fourth wall of music, but he broke that wall of artists in person. And this is, I understand that I say crazy shit and people have a problem with it. And he always had creative ways to show that. Either with the Paul Rosenberg skits or some of the later albums, he would have Steve Berman, and he would call him in there to tell him, how, we're not putting out this crazy ass fucking album, right? Next song was If I Had. Remember that song? He's, and it's another depressing kind of song where it's if he had $1 million, he's talking about how his life is fucked up, which, like I said, when this album came out, I had to be in 10th grade and I was already maybe 6 or 7 years since second grade, probably since fucking second or third grade, I was getting picked on by everybody, right? So my life sucked at this point. I was suicidal. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of time when I lived in Germany, when I was like in 10th or 11th grade, I was suicidal a lot, man. Like I couldn't fucking take it. I couldn't take fucking um, being picked on at fucking school all the time, and then going home and felt like I was fucking last place for everybody too. Like, so Eminem probably saved my fucking life. Like, maybe I wouldn't have fucking actually killed myself, but um, I was fucking there, man. And Eminem was the sole fucking thing that was like an escape, and it just felt like, oh man, Eminem turned this shit into this. It got me into fucking music. So this song, if I had, he just said he be saying some crazy shit in this shit. He's, you know, the first verse, he's just talking about all the shit he's tired of. He's like, I'm tired of having to deal with the bullshit without grabbing a steel. Tired of drowning in my sorrow. Tired of having to borrow a dollar for gas to start my Monte Carlo. I'm tired of motherfuckers spraying shit and darting off. I'm tired of jobs starting off at $5.50 an hour. Now this boss wondering why I'm smarting off. Tired of getting fired every time I fart and cough. Like, just getting like anybody who fucking has issues and trials and tribulations in their life. Like, this song is just about that. And then he's talking about, if things were different, what would I do? That's why it's called If I Have. I'm gonna go through the whole hook because I love this fucking hook. He's like, but if I had $1 million, I'd buy a damn brewery and turn the planet into alcoholics. If I had a magic wand, I'd make the world suck my dick without a condom on while I'm on the John. If I had $1 million, it wouldn't be enough because I'd still be out robbing armored trucks. If I had one wish, I would ask for a big enough ass for the whole world to kiss. And I love that hook. Like, that's still, especially if I had one wish, I would ask for a big enough ass for the whole world to kiss. Because obviously, people making me feel like I want to kill my fucking self. I would, it'd be nice if I had an ass to make him all fucking kiss it. To be honest with you. But just that fucking song, it's a powerful fucking song, man. Like, this is where, the album was just so fucking crazy. Then next song, 97 Bonnie and Clyde. Remember, just the two of us. And the actual is funny. The actual cover to the album. I know people don't fucking know what album covers look like anymore because you just get all digital. But man, we used to love the album covers in the books. The album cover has him on a dock with Haley, and it's his fucking, her mom and his girlfriend, or they were broken up at the time. It's about Bonnie and Clyde, which Bonnie and Clyde is just about him taking his daughter on a trip because he just killed his daughter's mother or whatever, because I guess she was cheating on him or whatever. Fucking crazy fucking song, man. Like, crazy. Like, that's the thing about Eminem. Eminem would say shit that was so taboo that you would never see or say. But Eminem was so lyrical. I'm not saying was, because he still is. Eminem just had a way of being lyrical and so real, and also embellishing things in a good way, to where, you just had to fucking love it, man. Like, especially if it resonated to you like it did for me. So where he says in that song, he's like, there's a place called heaven, there's a place called hell, there's a place called prison, and a place called jail. And daddy's probably on his way to all of them except one, because mama's got a new husband and a stepson. And you don't want a brother, do you? Maybe when you're old enough to understand a little better, I'll explain it to you. Like, everything that's in that part, he's just saying, like, telling his daughter, like, I'm a fucked up person. There's all these places, good and bad. I'm going to probably all of them. I'm going to jail, prison, and hell. I ain't going to heaven. And you know why? Because your mom left me and got a fucking new husband and a new fucking, and you got a new brother that you don't want. And she's like, nah, I don't want, it's what you got to love about art and music and hip hop, where shit is hidden, like, in the fucking, in the lines. Like, people say shit and they don't necessarily mean it in that way. And years later, you go back and listen to these things and you're like, oh shit. Like, good or bad, if he should have said it or not said it, it's some fucking real shit that, sometimes we have fucked up thoughts in our head. Sometimes we go through scenarios in our head that are really fucked up, but they're coming from a real emotional place. You know, because Eminem don't mean the shit. Eminem ain't really fucking gonna kill his fucking, wasn't really gonna kill Kim or nothing. It was just, hey, I'm pissed off that you're fucking somebody else. And my outlet is music. So that's how I'm gonna do it. So next skit was called Bitch. And Bitch has I just found this out recently about Bitch. So it's just like, Justin, this is Zoe. Kelly did not have me call her. However, I listened to Eminem's car. I listened to Eminem in her car, and it's the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my fucking life. And I seriously want to call his agent and tell him how disgusting he is. It makes me upset. I'm now nauseous and I can't eat lunch. Goodbye. That was my version of that. This is the cool story behind that. That was fucking the Fonz's daughter on that skit, if you didn't know. And I love that fucking skit, man. But yeah, that was just a little cool fact. That was fucking the Fonz's fucking daughter who did that. Henry Winkler. Her name was Zoe Winkler. Next song. And before I go to this next song, I do want to say, like, my album reviews are always going to be longer than most album reviews because the albums that I'm going to review all mean something to me. A problem I have with album reviews that I watch is I never get the connection from the person who's giving the review. It's just kind of like they're reviewing the album to review albums. To me, music for me is so personal, and there's albums that have just changed my fucking life. You know, so my reviews are always going to be, you know, I'm going to talk about what the song meant to me. You know, possibly where I was at in my life at that point, because, you know, if you knew me, I reference music in almost any conversation that I talk to, because most of the things that happen in life, I can always refer back to a song or some lyrics or something. That's just kind of how I am. So, you're probably never going to get a 10-minute review from me. They're probably always going to be at least a half hour to 40 minutes. And, you know, for you people who really are into music like I am, you're going to really appreciate the way that I do them. And of course, you know, they should get better and better as time go. I won't probably be rambling along. And I'm kind of just going off the top. I have the track listing up to kind of, you know, be able to remember what the track listing was and go through the whole album. But, you know, this is going to be the format, man. These are going to be real album reviews. These are going to be album life reviews. You know, it's going to be the album and the effect on my life is how these are going to go. So, next song is Role Model. Another fucking song where Eminem is just fucking going crazy. You know, there's so many fucking one-liners. There's so many fucking one-liners from this damn song. You know, whereas the first line, I'm cancerous, so when I did, she didn't want to answer it, so she responded back with a battle rap you wrote for Cannabis. He said, I'll strain you to death and choke you again and break your fucking legs so your bones poke through your skin. Like, ridiculous, man. Remember, and the video was crazy. Remember, ran to a, you know, he says beat up Foghorn Leghorn with a acorn. No, jumped in a Chicken Hawk cartoon with a cape on and beat up Foghorn Leghorn with an acorn. Like, fucking ridiculous wordplay. Then at the end, you know, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you a couple lyrics. He's like, I'm about as normal as Norman Bates with the formative traits, a premature birth that was 4 minutes late. Like, it took, I don't remember how many times. It had to have been like 2 years before I realized what he said. He said, a premature birth that was 4 minutes late. Like, what the fuck? Crazy. And then he's like, mother, are you there? I love you. I never meant to hit you on the head with that shovel, which is really him referring back to the Norman Bates line, because, you know, fucking crazy psycho dude with his mom. He's like, mother, are you there? I love you. I never meant to hit you in the head with that shovel. Will someone please explain to my brain that I just severed the main vein with a chainsaw and I'm a pain? I take a breather inside. Either I'm high or if I'm nuts. Because if you ain't tilting this broom, neither am I. So when you see your mom with a thermometer shoving it ass, because it's probably because obvious I got it on with her. Because when I dropped the solo, shit is over with. I bought Cage's tape, opened it, and dubbed over it. Like, what? And the whole Cage reference is, so when Eminem, like, I guess you could say he's like a horrorcore type of artist. Like, I guess that's the genre, horrorcore rap. And so he says a lot of fucking crazy shit, right? I ain't gotta tell you that. Eminem says a whole bunch of crazy shit. So there was a couple other guys, white guys too, Cage and Necro, that were kind of, you know, on the same type of shit Eminem was. And the thing was, there was like, they had beef, you know, before Eminem was famous. I don't know if it was that whole, oh, we're too much alike and I need to separate myself from you. Kind of like, that's why Eminem did all the shit. He was fucking going at the boy bands because he wanted to separate himself from the white pop artists. But they were beefing at the time. That's why he says, I bought Cage's tape, opened it, and dubbed over it. Like, and this song, you know, Role Model, it was just a play on words. Like, you know, it's like, don't you want to grow up to be just like me? I came to the club drunk with a fake ID. I've been with 10 women who got HIV. Don't you want to grow up? Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? So it was a play on words. You know, he's saying fucked up shit. I got genital warts and it burns when I pee. Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? Of course you don't. But I guess, you know, for Eminem, you know, he's catching flack at the beginning of his career. So it's kind of a like, fuck you. Like, you know, the song's called Role Model, but it's really an anti-role model song. Next song is a skit. Like, the next song is really my fault. You know, the Mushroom song, which is a fucking ridiculous story. And before it, there's like a lounge and the guys are fucking, they're like singing, they're singing the hook. It's a cool fucking thing. You got to hear it. But my fault. Y'all know that song. I never meant to give you mushrooms, girl. I never meant to bring you to my world. And now you're sitting in the corner crying. And now it was my fault, my fault. And the whole song is about, you know, if you listen to the story, he tells the story fucking beautifully. Like, Eminem is one of the best storytellers. He doesn't really get the credit for it. But he goes to a friend's party, Ron and Dave. No, it was John's rave with Ron and Dave. That's how the shit starts. I went to John's rave with Ron and Dave and met a new wave blonde babe with half her head shaved. Like, just those 3 lines that start off the song. Like, but it's about, he goes to the fucking thing, you know, and he met Susan, an ex-heroin addict who just stopped using. And she wanted to use again. He's like, nah, wait, try this hallucinogen. And he gives her mushrooms. And what happened was she ate the whole fucking bag, right? So now he's scared because she's probably gonna fucking die, you know, because she ate the whole. So the whole thing is, you know, about him being sorry that he gave her mushrooms, and he's running around the party trying to find out what happened. And the whole time the bitch is like, she's fucking freaking out, man. Like, the second verse is like, you know, he's just talking to her and she's going crazy. And she's like, yo, Sue, get away from me. I don't know you. Oh, shit, she's tripping. I need to go puke. I wasn't trying to turn this into something major. I was just trying to help you appreciate nature. Susan, stop crying out, hate you. The world's not against you. I'm sorry your daddy raped you. So what, you had your little coochie in your dad's mouth? That's no reason to start wigging and spaz out. I always conflicted with that line because I'm like, if you was getting molested by your dad, that actually is a pretty good reason for her to act, you know, to spaz out actually. So I didn't really know what Eminem was talking about, but you know, you gotta make shit rhyme. You know what I'm saying? And then the last verse, he's trying to go find the guy who gave him to him. He's like, you know, he's like, I gotta go find Dave. He's the one who gave me these. John, where's Dave before I bash you? He's in the bathroom. I think he's taking a crap, dude. Dave, pull up your pants. We need an ambulance. There's a girl upstairs talking to plants, chopping her hair off. And there's only 2 days left for spring break. How long do these things take to wear off? And then they talk and he's like, I took 3. She ate the other 22 caps. Now she's upstairs crying out her eyeballs, drinking Lysol. She's gonna die, dude. I know, when it's my fault. Once again, I'm not giving it as much justice by me reciting them, but if you heard these fucking, he's having a conversation and he's using multiple voices to tell his story, and the whole story just linearly runs so fucking well, even though it's about some silly shit. Just fucking amazing song, fucking amazing. And then after that, there's the Ken Kniff skit. You know, Ken Kniff from Connecticut, you automated piece of shit. You want me to fucking melt in your mouth and not in your hands? I know it's a horrible Ken Kniff, horrible Ken Kniff impersonation, but whatever. The story, actually, there's a story behind Ken Kniff. The original guy, and I don't know if it was from this. I think it was from this. The original guy who did Ken Kniff was not Eminem. It was, Aristotle was a guy. So he was doing Ken Kniff. Ken Kniff from Connecticut. Automated piece of shit. And I don't know if they had a falling out or whatever, but all the Ken Kniff shit after that was Eminem. But on the first album, it was this guy called Aristotle. And that shit goes into number 13. And if you know about Eminem's first few albums, number 13 always had Dina Ray on it, and they were always his little fun song. So this song was called Come On Everybody. Once again, ridiculous fucking song. He's like, this, I think he said that's my party song. And he just starts this song off, my favorite color is red, like the bloodshed from Kurt Cobain's head when he shot himself dead. Woman all grabbing at my shift kebab. Bought Lauryn Hill's tape so her kids could starve. Because remember back then, Lauryn Hill, and I've never verified the story, but supposedly Lauryn Hill was fucking racist, and you know she didn't fucking like white people. I think she said something like she don't want white people buying her music. Like I said, I don't know how true that is, but I know that that was a big thing that was going around. Which if she did say that, her music is cool, but fuck her for that, man. Like, I'm an equal opportunist hater against racists. I don't care if you're a fucking black person that's racist or if you're a white person that's racist. I don't got time for that shit, man. Like, it don't make no sense. But I'm digressing. Let me get back in the song to some of the hotter lines. He starts off verse 2. I tried suicide once and I tried again. That's why I write songs where I die at the end. Because I don't give a fuck. Like my middle finger was stuck and I was waving it at everybody screaming, I suck. like what? Then later, and he's like, I'm bored out of my gourd. So I took a hammer and nailed my foot to the floorboard of my Ford. Guess I'm just a sick bastard. One sandwich short of a picnic basket. One acetera and tablet short of a full medicine cabinet. I feel like my head has been shredded like lettuce and cabbage. And if you ever see a video for this shit, I'll probably be dressed up like a mummy with my wrist slit. Like, all these people want to say, oh, Eminem, Eminem, he's a fucking joke. Yeah, he made joke fucking songs. But the lyrics are fucking crazy. Who gives a fuck about, if you're lyrical enough, this is the thing about lyrics and substance. You don't have to have both, even though Eminem has both, but he doesn't always have substance in his song. He always has lyrics. If your lyrics are way up here, your substance matters less. But the less that you have the technical skill as far as lyrics, just being, crazy metaphors and shit like that, the more substance you need. Like someone like 50 Cent. 50 Cent ain't the most lyrical rapper, but his songs always have a lot of substance in them. Even if you feel like, oh, it's gangster shit and all that, he's still, the way 50 Cent gets his point across is fucking great, even though he's not the most lyrical rapper. So someone like this song is kind of silly, but there's the lyrical content is so fucking high that it doesn't have to be about nothing. So next song probably got me out of so many fucking suicidal moments. It's called Rock Bottom. And he starts off, he's like, this song's dedicated to all the happy people who have all the happy people who have real nice lives and have no idea what it's like to be broke as fuck. I wasn't, I was too young to know what being broke as fuck was, other than that I didn't have no fucking money. But when you're fucking a teenager, you don't fucking know what broke is because your parents fucking take care of everything. But, this song is called Rock Bottom. And I'm at the hook. It's like when life makes you mad enough to kill, when you want something bad enough to steal, when you feel like you had enough to hear because you mad enough to scream, but you're sad enough to tear. And that was like, that was my whole childhood and teenage. It's like I was mad enough to scream and sad enough to tear. You know, the second verse, he says, "My life is full of empty promises and broken dreams. I'm hoping things look up, but there ain't no job openings. I feel discouraged, hungry, and malnourished, living in this house with no furnace, unfurnished." Like that's, it's just you, you know, it's somebody fucking spilling. You could tell they're fucking spilling their fucking heart out to you, man. Like, it's just a real personal song. You know, he ends that verse with, I ain't even gonna say the end. I'm gonna come sort of in the middle. Where he says, "Cause it's cool to be the player, but it sucks to be the fan. When all you need is bucks to be the man, plus a luxury sedan. It's comfortable and roomy in the six, but they threw me in the mix with all these loony lunatics who walk around the press and smoke a pound of cess a day. Yesterday went by so quick it seemed like it was just a day. My daughter wants to throw the ball, but I'm too stressed to play. With half a life, I throw the rest away." Like, um, if you ever went through depression, man, like that's how you feel. Like you feel like, man, I done lived half of or whatever percentage of life you felt like you left, man. I might as well just fucking end it and throw this shit away. There was actually a guy when I lived in Germany. I don't think he lived in Germany. He might have been in like Colorado or something, but he committed suicide, threw himself in front of a train, and they found the lyrics to the song. I think he had it in his pocket or something like that. You know, like, you know, unfortunately he didn't make it through the struggle, but it just shows you the type of impact that this song had on some people. You know, for me, it made me stronger. You know, because I looked at it as, well, this guy who wrote this song, who sounds just as depressed as I was at certain points, look at him now. You know. So next song. This is probably my favorite Eminem song ever. Just Don't Give a Fuck. I fucking love this song. If you heard the Slim Shady EP version of this song, I hate the fucking beat. It kind of sucked. Till then Dr. Dre came and, you know, cleaned it up. I'm figuring, because it sounded a lot better once it came to Slim Shady LP. Which, if you know the story, Slim Shady EP was already out. You know, and I guess it's equivalent to what mixtapes are now, because, you know, back then the mixtape game wasn't as heavy as it is now, and I only have so much reference to that too because I lived in when I lived in Germany, we didn't have such thing as mixtapes unless you fucking made your own mixtapes on the radio. I'm kind of showing my age. I'm only 33, but still, you know, our mixtapes were made by us, not some DJ putting it together. And especially being in Germany, I just didn't have access to that shit because I was there in the late 90s. But this was the Slim Shady LP. I mean, the Slim Shady EP was done before Eminem got signed by Dr. Dre. And if you listen to some of the songs and listen to the Slim Shady LP, you see that they were, you know, a lot of songs were cleaned up, which, you know, I kind of put that on Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre is like a master mixer. But anyways, this fucking song, it's another song. It ain't really about nothing. It's just one of those lyrical, crazy ass shit, you know, songs. He started off Slim Shady, brain dead like Jim Brady. I'm an M80. You little like that Kim lady, you know. He's just, you know, talking shit, you know. Just crazy lyrical acrobatics and exercises, like just talking shit. He's like, you know, admit it, fuck it. While we come out in the open, I'm doing acid, crack, smack, cope, and smoking dope. Then my name is Marshall Mathers. I'm alcoholic. I have a disease and I don't know what to call it. Better hide your wallet because I'm coming up quick to strip your cash. Bought a ticket to your concert just to come and whoop your ass. Like, oh man, this is something I actually just caught now because I have Genius lyrics up where he's like, the proof is in the pudding, just sax to Sean Holton. I slit your motherfucking throat worse than Ron Goldman. So the whole proof in the pudding, if you remember, rest in peace, Proof. was one of the members of D12, and that's what he's saying. The proof is in the pudding. Just ask the Sean Holton, because the Sean Holton is Proof's real name. So, just crazy, and one of the best shits. And I'm seeing Genius has this wrong. This next verse, Eminem dissed. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was when Eminem was trying to separate. Like I said, he was trying to separate himself from other white rappers, because up to this point, white rappers had a really bad connotation. You know, they were, I guess, looked at as corny, even though I don't think they were all corny. We had the Beastie Boys. Vanilla Ice was just kind of, I guess, the corny guy. But you had Third Base, and you know. So Eminem disses all these fucking guys in 2 lines. He says, I'm nicer than P, but I'm on a search to crush a milk bone. I'm everlasting. I melt vanilla ice like silicone. So when he says I'm nicer than peace, and then I'm on a search to crush a milk bone, and I'm everlasting, those are all, they're all part of the Third Base. So he uses their names to diss them like that. And then, you know, Vanilla Ice, you know, I melt vanilla ice like silicone. The genius that goes into lyrics like that, just 2 lines, boom. Like just 2 lines, and this is really quality. This is on fucking 4 people. It's fucking ridiculous. Then third verse, I remember clinically brain dead. I don't need a second opinion. Fuck dropping the jewel. I'm flipping the sacred treasure. I bite your motherfucking style just to make it fresher. This fucking song is just, you got, if there's an Eminem song that you should listen to, it's definitely I Just Don't Give a Fuck. Definitely. So let's go what's next, because this album, the later half of this album gets really, really lyrical and crazy. So what we got? We have soap opera skit, where it's a skit that goes into As the World Turns, and it's Royce 5'9", I think. Yeah, it's like a soap opera little, it's called soap skit. But I'm not going to get too much in that. Let's just go into the song As the World Turns, which is fucking crazy. Eminem goes into all these fucking crazy stories. And I guess it's kind of it's a play on the, you know, As the World Turns, the soap opera. But he just says a whole bunch of crazy shit, man. Like, they never should have booted me out of reform school. The form full, taking a shit in a warm pool. So they threw me out the Ramada Inn. I said, it wasn't me, I got a twin. Oh my God, it's you, not again. It all started when my mother took my bike away because I murdered my guinea pig and stuck them in the microwave. After that, it was straight to the 40 ounces, slapping teachers and jacking off in front of my counselors. Like, of course Eminem wasn't doing this shit, but that wordplay, man. I don't care if it's silly. That wordplay is fucking crazy, man. And there's a lot of fat shaming. There's just a lot of fucked up shit in this fucking song. Like, the last one he's talking about, he's you know, I'll just say the verse. He's like hypochondriac, hanging out in the laundromat, where all the raunchy, fat, white, trashy blondes be at. Dressed like a sailor standing by a pail of garbage. It's almost dark and I'm still trying to nail a trailer park bitch. Like, another song that took me years to really decipher. You know, he says hypochondriac, hanging out in the laundromat, where all the raunchy, fat, white, trash blondes be at. And you're like, you know, he's kind of describing the setting. This is crazy. He's like, dressed like a sailor standing by a pail of garbage. So when you put it all together, he's describing, he's hanging out outside of a laundromat trying to pick up fat white bitches. And he's dressed like a sailor standing next to a fucking garbage bin. Like, it's crazy. Then he goes, I met a slut and said, what up, it's nice to meet you. I like to treat you to a Fago and a slice of pizza, but I'm broke as fuck and I don't get paid to the first of next month. But if you would care to join me, I was about to roll this next blunt, but I ain't got no weed, no fiddlies, or no papers. Plus I'm a rapist and a repeated prison escapist. So give me all your money and don't try nothing funny, because you know your stinking ass is too fat to try to outrun me. Like, And he keeps going through that story, man. Like, you he ends up, him and the girl end up fighting. He chases her to her house and shit, and then she wants to fuck. And then he's like, he says, "Come here, big boy, let's get acquainted." I turned around to run, twisted my ankle and sprained it. She came at me full speed, nothing to stop her. I shot her 5 times and every bullet bounced off her. I started to beg, "No, please let go," but she swallowed my fucking leg hole like an egg roll. Swallowed my fucking leg whole like an egg roll. Ridiculous. Then he's hopping around crippled, and then he's like, just trying to buy me some time. Then I remember this magic trick. Then he said, just trying to buy me some time. Then I remember this magic trick. Dun, 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 dun. Go, gadget dick. Whip that shit out and ain't no doubt about it. It hit the ground, caused an earthquake and power outage. I shouted, "Now, bitch, let's see who gets the best. Stuff that shit in crooked and fuck that fat slip." He says, it hit the ground, caused an earthquake and power outage. I shouted, "Now, bitch, let's see who gets the best. Stuff that shit in crooked and fuck that fat slut to death." And that's how, then it goes into the chorus, and that's pretty much the end of that song. But that shit is crazy, man. That shit is fucking crazy. Next song, another crazy song, "I'm Shady," where he's kind of just talking, once again, it's just a lyrical gymnastics here. He's just saying a whole bunch of fucking crazy shit. Where I know he says, the verse, "I like happy things. I'm really calm and peaceful. I like birds, bees. I like people. I like funny things that make me happy and gleeful. Like when my teacher sucked my weavy in preschool. The ill type. I slap myself with a steel spike while I blow my brains out just to see what it feels like." Just crazy fucking lyrics, man. Like, he says, "I told the doc I need to change a sickness and gave a girl herpes in exchange for syphilis. Put my LP on your Christmas gift list. You want to get high here, bitch? Just sniff this." And then the hook's like, "Come on, everybody, get down tonight." No, you know what? I'm fucking up. That's not the one. I just fucked up the songs. He don't say that shit. In this song, he says, where he's talking about STDs, he's like, "But they love it when you make your business public, so fuck it. I got herpes while we on the subject. And if I told you I had AIDS, y'all would play it because y'all stupid motherfuckers think I'm playing when I say it. Well, I do take pills, don't smoke weed, don't do crack, don't do coke. I do smoke weed, don't do smack, do shrooms, I do drink beers. I just want to make a few things clear. My baby mama's not dead. She's still alive and bitchins, and I don't got herpes. My dick's just itching." I fucking loved that shit. I loved Eminem, man. We can go to the next song, "Bad Meets Evil." I'm going to tell you why this song is important to me. Not only was the lyrics fucking ridiculous in this song, it was my introduction to Royce 5'9", which I still listen to a lot of to this day. I love Royce 5'9", is one of my favorite rappers. Been one of my favorite rappers for a long time. And they ended up putting out an album called Bad Meets Evil, but this song is just like right from the beginning, man. Like, you got the whole Western thing going on, but Eminem just starts it off. "I don't speak. I float in the air, wrapped in a sheet. I'm not a real person. I'm a ghost trapped in a beat. I translate when my voice is read through a seismograph and the noise is spread, picked up and transmitted through Royce's head." And then he's just going, and then, Royce 5'9" picks up, and I'm, in his second verse, he's like, "Kiss the cheek of the devil. Intelligent level is hellier than trouble. Peeking on speakers in the ghetto. Dismissal. I'm not a fair man. Disgrace the race of an atheist. Intercept the missiles while being here like a patriot." And another line from Royce in this song was something about eyebrow raising. He says, "I'm blazing them seeds at the same time amazing them seeds. Somehow MCs ain't that eyebrow raising to me." And back then, man, that was like such a hot line, man, because, rap wasn't as bad as it is now, but I always felt like that, it wasn't, a lot of eyebrow raising MCs out there. Like, it was way more, when you look back, it was, because now these motherfuckers can't rap. I can't stand it. But once again, Bad Meets Evil was just Eminem and Royce 5'9" going back, killing the shit lyrically. Just ridiculous. We coming up to pretty much the end of the album. I think we got a couple songs left. Let's see. After Shady, I want to say, um, Still Don't Give a Fuck. It's the last song. So Still Don't Give a Fuck. You know, he's talking about. He starts it off talking. He's like, a lot of people ask me if I'm afraid of death. Da da da. You know, they think he's retarded, and he's like, yo, I can't change the way I think. I can't change the way I am. But if I offended you, good, because I still don't give a fuck. So he's pretty much saying like, yo, I just say crazy shit because I don't give a fuck. And if you think I'm crazy, then guess what? Good. I still don't give a fuck. Like, and he starts this shit off crazy. I'm zoning off of one joint, stopping a limo, hopped in the window, shopping a demo at gunpoint. A lyricist without a clue. What year is this? Fuck a needle, here's a short sword, body pierced with this. Live in a mug, never giving a fuck. Give me the keys, I'm drunk and I never driven a truck, but I smoke dope in a cab. I stab you with the sharpest knife I can grab. Come back the next week and reopen the scab. What? Like, empty and full clips burying guns in the mud. I calmed down now. I was heavy once in a drug. I could walk around straight for 2 months with a buzz. Listen to this line right here. This shit is crazy. My brain's gone, my soul's worn, and my spirit is torn. The rest of my body's still being operated on. I duck the fuck down while I'm writing this rhyme because I'm probably going to get struck with lightning this time. Just fucking crazy. I walked into a gunfight with a knife to kill you and cut you so fast when your blood spilled it was still blue. This is my boy Mark Aiken. He used to love this line. I hang you until you dangle and chain you with both ankles and pull you apart with both angles. Like, then tell Saddam not to bother with making another bomb because I'm crushing the whole world in my palm. Got your girl in my arm and I'm armed with a firearm so big my entire arm is a giant firebomb. Buy your mom with a shirt with a Slim Shady iron on and the pants a match. Here, mama, try him on. Man, this album, man, that's this album, man, because that's the end of the album right there, man. Like, just at the end of the day, this album changed my life because, like I said, I really resonated with Eminem. I was picked on. I felt like I wasn't shit, and Eminem was the first rapper that I felt like I could relate and gave me avenue to express myself. That's why I kind of started rapping because of Eminem, or just the fact that it seemed like, you know, and his life was harder than mine. I didn't grow up poor or nothing like that, but just seeing someone who went through what I went through emotionally in a lot of ways, you know, having problems at home and having problems at school, and to become a famous rapper, it really gave me hope, you know, and it really saved my life. You know, like, if I ever met Eminem, I would probably fucking cry, man. Like, I ain't gonna say I'm not the starstruck type because I fucking am. I'm a celebrity whore. But Eminem had such an impact on my life that if I ever met him, it would be emotional. It just would. But this album, not, you know, just a takeaway just from the personal part of me, it's a fucking great album, and everybody who listens to hip hop music should go back and listen to it. A lot of people be like, oh, this is the only Eminem album I like. I don't know if it's Eminem's most complete album, but I'm never gonna get mad at someone saying that it's his best album because it was a great album. But I don't really like when people say, this is like me and my boy Dave be talking about when people say that, oh, Illmatic. I just like Illmatic. I don't even know what that fucking means, man. Like, motherfuckers don't have one album. They might have one great, the album that you like the most, but it's almost fucking trivial just to say, oh, well, I like this album. But like I said, we're gonna have some more album reviews. I hope you like this format that I'm going in. I know it's running a little long, close to an hour, but they're gonna be close to an hour because I'm really about the culture. I'm really a music person. I'm not one of these guys just trying to review an album because it fucking came out and people want to know if they should buy it or not. I'm going to talk about albums that's been out for a while and that have a lot of meaning and that I can talk to and go song for song through. All right. So until next time, peace out because my camera's telling me that the battery's about to die. Peace, motherfuckers. Hope you liked it.